Looking at a world of 8 billion people, it is easy to assume that human dominance was inevitable. But our existence is actually a statistical anomaly. For most of our history, our ancestors survived on an incredibly thin margin against overwhelming odds. This chart tracks the estimated global population of our prehistoric ancestors. Around 900,000 years ago, that steady, broad line representing Homo erectus abruptly collapses into a tiny, constricted bottleneck. The entire human population on Earth plummeted to just about 1,280 individuals. Recovering from a near wipeout like that is remarkably difficult. When your entire global dating pool consists of barely 1,000 people, you are drawing from an uncomfortably small amount of genetic diversity to try and rebuild an entire species. And this wasn't a brief dip. Early humans were trapped at this exact edge of extinction for 117 millennia. That is longer than modern human civilization has even existed, spent entirely on the brink of total erasure. During our infancy, we possessed absolutely no control over our environment. We were a fragile species, surviving at the mercy of an indifferent planet. That environmental hostility did not stop as we evolved. Take the Toba supervolcanic eruption. It ejected around 2,800 cubic kilometers of ash into the atmosphere, choking the sky and smothering the surrounding ecosystems. All that ash triggered a severe, multi-year volcanic winter. Temperatures sank globally. Early agricultural communities watched their crops fail and their livestock die, causing food shortages that drove the worldwide population down to perhaps 10,000 people. In 1815, the Earth proved it could still freeze us out. The eruption of Mount Tambora triggered what became known as the Year Without a Summer. Snowflakes fell in July, harvest decayed in the fields, and starvation swept across Europe. Even when the ground stayed quiet, microscopic threats filled the void. Right on the heels of the First World War, the 1918 Spanish flu swept the globe. It infected a full third of the world's population and killed 50 million people in a matter of months. While humanity eventually became numerous enough to survive these natural catastrophes, our expansion gave rise to a new category of risk. By mastering the planet, we built the technological capacity to introduce a much deadlier artificial threat. By the middle of the 20th century, the nature of our survival changed. Humanity had finally acquired the mechanical power to wipe itself out. The Cold War pitted the United States against the Soviet Union in a global arms race. Both superpowers stockpiled enough nuclear weapons to vaporize human civilization and turn the Earth's surface to ash at the push of a button. In 1962, the geopolitical posturing nearly snapped. The Cuban Missile Crisis forced the world into a 13-day standoff, where a single miscalculation from either leadership would guarantee mutually assured destruction. For the global public, there was nothing to do but stand at the newsstands and read the headlines. Their survival rested on the hope that politicians sweating in bunkers would manage to keep their fingers off the trigger. Extinction was a threat we now carried in our own pockets, making survival a matter of human temperament and political reason. By 1983, the tension had thickened. Cold War paranoia reached an all-time high, and the margin for technological error effectively vanished. Soviet Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov was stationed inside a bunker, tasked with overseeing the automated early warning systems designed to detect an American nuclear strike. Without warning, his radar screens flashed an alert. The system reported incoming United States missiles. The strict military protocol for this exact moment demanded that he sound the alarm and initiate a catastrophic, world-ending counterstrike. Under immense pressure, Petrov took a breath. He looked at the data, rejected the instinct to panic, and trusted his own intuition over the machine's logic. He decided the warning was a computer glitch. He was right. There were no missiles. It was a radar malfunction. His single moment of calm decision-making successfully averted a guaranteed nuclear apocalypse. One individual's composure saved billions of lives. It proved that despite our capacity to build horrific weapons, we still possess the agency and the reason required to protect ourselves from them. When you pull back from earthly politics and view our situation on a galactic scale, new uncontrollable threats emerge. Take gamma ray bursts. explosions of intense cosmic energy that fire randomly across deep space. If a gamma-ray burst were to strike Earth, the biological consequences would be immediate. It would instantly strip away our ozone layer, leaving the surface fully exposed and baking under lethal ultraviolet solar radiation. Like the supervolcanoes that nearly erased our ancestors, these cosmic events operate beyond our control. There is no diplomacy to negotiate with a star, and no technological shield we can deploy to stop it. Our powerlessness against the stars highlights the sheer improbability of our continued existence. We have spent thousands of years navigating a narrow path between local disasters and cosmic accidents. The fact that we are still here, an unbroken chain of survivors looking up at the stars, makes our presence a rare victory in an indifferent universe. Every day we persist is a continuation of that survival.